Thank you, Josh. You said it. Without a doubt, the Birds baller of the game, Isaac Esqueda, 6 innings out of the bullpen. I'll ask you this. Coming to the field today, did you know you were going to throw 6 innings today?
I did not. I mean, just like how the regular, just coming out of the bullpen, just 2 or 3, but I did not expect anything about 6.
You threw 6 innings fantastically well. You were working fast out there. It was a long first 3 innings. Were you trying to speed things up, or is that just the way you move?
Just that's the way I move. I mean, just trying to get out, coming out of the bullpen, just a little bit, trying to get in the rhythm and just trying to put the balls in play.
6 straight losses for the Firebirds, and you come out six innings scoreless, dominate on the mound, and help your team get a win for the first time in a long time. How great does that feel?
Feels good. I mean, after those 6 losses, I mean, we didn't like that, but I mean, it's just starting to get into a groove. I mean, just like we did in this game, put the ball in play, played catch. I mean, other than that, I mean, after this win, hopefully to go back into a streak again.
It was the longest outing of anybody on the Firebirds, and you came from out of the bullpen. When stuff like that happens and you're 4 innings, 5 innings through, coming out of the bullpen, how do you keep yourself mentally focused in this game?
Just like how I did back in school, just trying to get in a rhythm, just trying to pound the zone, get the ball in play, make my defense work so they can help me out, and just trying to keep less pitches, throw less pitches, just trying to get everybody in the rhythm and not come back in the dugout as quickly as possible.
Kelly Nicholson said after the game, as you guys were doing your high fives, he said, "Birds are back, birds are back." A lot of that is because of your fantastic outing tonight. That must seem pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it feels really good just to be back, just to get that win.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you
Fantastic outing. You guys, without a doubt, the Birds baller of the game, Mr. Isaac Esqueda. I'll let you go do some celebrations. Thanks so much for the time,
Appreciate
dude.
it. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Isaac Esqueda, as we said, 6 innings, fantastic outing. You heard it right there. It was all about the rhythm that he was keeping with himself up on the mound and just keeping that presence of mind. We're going to get the full Bird's Eye View post-game show rocking in a little bit. I know one of our broadcasters are coming over here. Koki Riley and Alec Hendon are coming up next, but guys, we'll send it back to you because I know we've got another interview on the other end, so we'll send it over to you guys.
And thank you, Scotty. Yes, Jacob Hurtubise will be joining us in just a few seconds. Again, the Firebirds defeat the Whitecaps 6-3. They end that 6-game losing streak, and they finally get back on the right side of the hump. As I am now joined by Jacob Hurtubise here on the Birds post-game. And Jacob, first off, thank you for joining me.
Of course, happy to be here.
Well, Jacob, you had a fantastic game. You know, off early and running, 4 stolen bases in this ball game. Do you recall the last time you had this many stolen bases?
Yeah, my sophomore year of college, we were playing Bucknell. I actually had 6 in a 7-inning game.
Wow, so 6 stolen bases in a game. So you mentioned, back at college, you're a guy that comes from Army. What's it like to be here on Cape Palmer? Maybe what's the transition or difference?
Oh, it's awesome. Being able to play baseball, like the game I love. Right before coming here, I was doing military training, which obviously is very difficult, very strenuous on the body, but just being able to come out here in such a beautiful area, come play baseball every day, it's been an unreal experience.
And you're out here running on first and second pitches, stealing bases, and you're doing military training. Now it's your second go-around here on Cape Cod. Spent a couple games with Harwich. What's been the difference, and what's the experience here between Harwich and Orleans?
Yeah, definitely 2 very different teams. Over at Harwich, they like to have fun and be relaxed, and it's the same thing here, but honestly it fits me a little better here just because Coach Kelly does a great job with the guys being a little more regimented, being focused on every swing, every at-bat, making sure we're doing the right thing at all times. And so I've really enjoyed my time here and at Harwich. I got no knocks against them. I'm excited to play them tomorrow.
It's always a fun time here in Cape Cod, and the Firebirds again snapped that 6-game losing streak. Isaac Esqueda pitched a fantastic game, and after that last down, obviously you're out in center field. What's the emotion, I guess, around the team? I saw guys jumping up and down. What was the emotion when you finally the Firebirds come back on top again?
Yeah, it's exciting being able to come out with a win after struggling for a little bit. We've kept working hard in the cages and early work, in our BP, just staying focused, locking in on that final goal of reaching the playoffs at the end of the season.
Of course, that is the goal, and you mentioned about the goals for the Firebirds. How about any goals for you this summer? Anything that you want to achieve? Obviously, 4 stolen bases in 1 game is a pretty achievement so far. Anything you want to work on?
I'm just trying to have fun while I'm out here. Going into my senior season at Army, it's a big one for me, so I'm really looking forward to just continuing my success here and then continuing it into my senior year as well.
Well, Jacob, it was fun to watch you out here in the Diamond, and thank you for joining us here
of course.
on the Birds Post-Game Show.
Thank you.
Again, that was Jacob Hurtubise alongside myself, Thomas Zinzarell, here on the Birds Broadcast Network, as the Firebirds again able to snap out of this 6-game losing streak as they defeat the Whitecaps by a final score of 6-3. How it all came into fruition? Well, came only back in the first inning. Firebirds scored 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 in the third. Again, the Whitecaps started the game with a 2-run first inning, a base knock by Tyler Gentry for a fielder's choice by Marcos Castanon. But again, that was pretty much all the offense so far, as we're going to send it back over to Scotty Gage once again.
Coach, I got the numbers for you.
Okay,
6 innings. I think it was just under 70 pitches.
It was, yeah.
A fantastic, fantastic outing for Isaac Esqueda. Let's start with him.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me about it. He was just so good.
Yeah, I mean, by far, I mean, I know we haven't played too many games up to this point, but by far the best outing so far in this, I guess we're midway point or a little bit past midway. It was pretty dominant as far as filling up the zone. I think maybe one free pass, 6 innings, some very bad swings that he was forcing. Being able to mix that fastball that he throws that quite honestly cuts about a foot, it seems. And then mixing that with a curveball that comes out 69 and then a hard slider at 77. I mean, it's just tough. And to be able to go through a lineup twice, 2 full times, and do that was very impressive. And to continue getting the same swings in that last inning, in the 6th inning, just speaks to how on he was today. And it was a really good bounce back day for him too, because he struggled a little bit. He came out hot in his first outing for us. Last outing wasn't as clean. The curveball wasn't there. We weren't mixing the pitches as well, and he struggled a little bit. But to be able to come back today and put on that performance, especially after a start that didn't just, it didn't work in Sem's favor today, to be able to come right back and do that for us. And then just beyond that performance, what it does for our pitching staff, being able to save a couple arms that we had today, because we are in this long stretch of consecutive games with more to go. So, I mean, unbelievable performance by that guy. He's such a competitor. He's always locked in. Like, no one's talking to him in the dugout. He's just so involved in what he has to do, and he did it. And he did it very well today.
You mentioned, how big it was for him and for Seminaris, speaking with pitching coach Matt Troupe here, for the team after losing 6 straight games, for him to come out and have the longest outing of any Firebird all summer, out of the bullpen to get you guys this win. How big is that for the Firebirds?
Yeah, I mean, just to touch on again, what it does for the pen was big, but yeah, what it does for the team is even bigger, because we needed to snap out of the skid, and it was a close game there at the beginning, right? And their relievers on the other side did a great job of coming in and slowing down our offense there. So to be able to have Isaac Esqueda come back out inning after inning and throwing up zeros and not even being in trouble really just kept that momentum totally on our side, despite going a little bit cold at the plate. But yeah, his performance helped tremendously getting us back in this win column, which feels good. You see a bunch of smiles. But yeah, I mean, just, I want to touch on Skip just staying positive. And these guys really came out today with and you saw the way they played today. There was no pressure. They didn't have that.
It was very
pressure.
Uplifting, it seemed.
It really was. I mean, it came out hot at the plate, and to be able to do that inning after inning, we knew that we were along for the ride. I mean, it was Isaac's game, and we were just there. I was really happy to be able to enjoy that show from our front row seats here in the dugout. It was unbelievable by him.
Did you have any idea that coming into the ballpark today, Isaac Esqueda was going to throw 6 innings?
Oh, definitely not. But we did have an idea to, have him kind of stretch out a little bit today because of our bullpen situation, and we wanted to piece it together with one of our new pitchers, Angelo Smith from Michigan, because you got one ball, Isaac Esqueda, a lefty, that will cut about this much away from a left-handed hitter, and then you have Angelo that moves about this much, runs this much into a hitter. So to be able to put them off of each other was going to be a fun sight to see. But like I said, we were along
Didn't
for the
need to.
ride. We didn't need it because it was Isaac's ball game tonight. So it was very fun to watch.
It really was fun to watch. I know for you, for me, for a pitching coach, that must be an absolute dream. Watch a guy just absolutely step up when it seems like the team maybe needed it most.
Yes, no doubt, no doubt. This game goes to Isaac Esqueda. We'll touch on Rob Emery behind the dish, did fantastic. David coming in there doing fantastic. We had one inning today that was unbelievable set of plays that were made from Tanner Murray. Picking that ball arm side, and we almost got to pick it first, but that was okay. And then him Spider-Man climb the fence there to steal an out right off of the net. And then to have Josh Zamora go backhand up the middle and make a play. So, man, I mean, first of all, Isaac is on. But then in the inning where maybe they had something going, that happens behind us.
Huge.
It speaks to the tempo and the pace that Isaac displayed on the mound to keep all the infielders locked in, because every swing. I mean, they're swinging on every pitch, and granted they swung and missed a lot today, but you always know with Isaac on the mound he's going to come after them, so you have to be locked in, and we saw that inning. So again, his performance was fantastic, but to be able to keep our defense in the game too, it really helped there. So.
Congratulations to you, Coach. Congratulations again to Isaac Esqueda. Thank you. Yeah, what we're going to do now is a special musical chair. So we're going to let you go celebrate with the team and enjoy. Perfect. We're going to bring our guy Josh White in.
Oh, man,
so
Josh
thank you
White.
again, Coach.
Yes,
really do appreciate you. And we're going to keep the Bird's Eye View post-game show rolling as Josh White comes in. Again, Isaac Esqueda, you cannot touch on how good he was. Josh, nice weave-in, by the way. That was good. But let's talk about Isaac Esqueda. The perfect outing for exactly what this team needed.
Well, first off, I don't know how I replace Matt Troupe. That's not possible. I guess I'm the call to the bullpen and bringing in Isaac Esqueda. And you're right. It was the longest outing of any Firebirds pitcher this summer. And it wasn't like, he was in there in mop-up duty or anything like that. He was sharp. 6 shutout innings, struck out 8 or 9, I believe, in the end. And it was incredible just watching him work. And he kept his pitch count really efficient. He got guys to swing early and often. And then he ran some of those deeper counts, and he was able to get strikeouts. And I think the big thing for him was the curveball. I don't know what Matt Troupe said. I'm not a pitching expert like him. But to me, the curveball was the key for Esqueda, especially later on in this ballgame. He dropped that hook, kept a lot of batters off balance. And when you looked at the lineup construction tonight for Brewster, they intentionally stacked it with a lot of right-handers. And that was given because Adam Seminaris had only given up 1 hit against lefties. So Brewster goes, you know what, let's go all righties. And despite that, Seminaris and Esqueda are both able to set him down.
So we've touched enough on Esqueda. He was fantastic. You heard from himself. We've heard from you and pitching coach Matt Troupe. But it was a great game really all around. Speaking of guys like Tanner Murray, speaking of guys like Jacob Hurtubise, who stood out to you especially today? Let's go offensively.
I think offensively it's got to be Jacob Hurtubise. Now, granted, that all happened in the first 3 innings. That's how long those first 3 innings were. But he reached base in all 3 innings and stole 4 bags in the first 3 innings. He kind of set the tone for me offensively. It's kind of when you think about it, you have the leadoff guy setting the table like that, draws a 4-pitch walk in the first inning, then steals second, and you just know that Birds offense could get going. Another guy you didn't mention who had a great night as well, Zach Britton. Almost went understated of how good of a night because he got overshadowed. Everyone got overshadowed by Isaac Esqueda. Britton delivered a bunch of hits, came through with that clutch RBI double, made some strong defensive plays, and even as a whole, I know Matt Troupe talked about it a little bit, just the defense tonight was exceptional. They did make 1 error, but it was after a fantastic play to keep the ball in the infield, so it would have been a base hit anyway. Max Shrani made a sliding catch. Tanner Murray obviously climbed the fence to grab that ball. So if the Birds are pitching like this, they're taking advantage of other teams' mistakes, and they're playing defense, they're a tough team to stop like we saw in the early parts of the summer.
How important is this win, looking forward to Hyannis and YD and Katuitt later this week?
Well, and I think you look at this Orleans squad, there's been some highs and lows to start the summer. The Birds obviously went on that stretch where they didn't lose for 8 or 9 games. They won 5 in a row. Now they've lost 6 before winning tonight. So I think that win itself stops the negative energy, any of things of that nature, that I think they've held pretty nicely together. I mean, any team that loses 6, things are not going great. You haven't won in a week. But I thought the Birds did a great job to stay composed. They got some new guys in here who have really lit a spark in certain areas. Jacob Hurtubise won. Even Isaac Esqueda, who, wasn't necessarily part of this team the first few weeks of the summer, he's come in, he's pitched well, and he won this game for the Birds tonight.
He was fantastic. It seems like a recalibration for the Orleans Firebirds tonight. We're going to recalibrate our post-game show. We're going to do musical chairs again. Thank you so much for coming on, broadcaster Josh White. So what you're going to do, he already knows. We've talked about this before. Alec Hendon and Koki Riley are going to come in. Alec, you're in charge of getting the other chair. You're going to go to the outside of me because it's time to welcome in the writers, the beat writers for both teams. Around, Alec, around. Come on. We have not done this before, everybody. Everything is okay. Here, Koki Riley of the Brewster Whitecaps team writer, Alec Hendon of the Orleans Firebirds
What's up, boys?
team writer. That's true, but we're on the summer. Koki, I'll start with you. Isaac Esqueda was fantastic. Tanner Murray was fantastic. Zach Britton was fantastic. For you watching on from a different lens, what did you see from the Orleans Firebirds tonight?
I saw Tanner Murray was a really confident hitter at the plate. I saw Isaac Esqueda. He was incredible for Orleans today. I mean, it looked to me that Brewster's bats were just mystified the whole game. I just talked to Jamie Shevchuk, the Brewster manager, after the game, and he said that the Brewster's offense didn't really have a chance in the second half of the game because they were just so mystified, and they were also really tired of just standing out in the field after those long innings from Chance Huff, who started today for Brewster. And it was just a weird game overall. Yeah.
It really was, and Alec, will turn over to you. Kind of on the other side, I know you were talking to Zach Britton. Just like you said, Koki, it was a weird game. This was a game that was so slow, and then Isaac Esqueda comes in and bop, 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 bop. Six innings just like it's nobody's business. Alec, from the Orleans side, you talked to some of the players and coaches. What's the vibe like?
It's big. Obviously, the 6-game losing streak is over. But you mentioned Zach Britton. I went to him first because Jacob Hurtubise got some pub with the broadcasters, deservedly so, because he was on base 3 times in the first 3 innings and scored runs. But Zach Britton, he gets a double to get the Firebirds on the board in the bottom of the first inning after Orleans starter Adam Seminaris is rocked for the first time we've seen all season. Brewster gets him for 2 runs, and it kind of feels like, oh, here we go again.
Rocked in Adam Seminaris terms.
Exactly.
He still pitched a good game, but
Yes.
it wasn't what we have seen so far in his first 4 starts.
Absolutely. Very good clarification there, because that is important. He has been exceptional, but Zach Britton, he gets a couple hits, including the big RBI double. They get some 2-1, and then he scores. Then Orleans obviously wins the first inning. They take the 3-2 lead that they hold on to for the rest of the game, and it was big. And I was just a little bit to Kelly Nicholson, the Orleans manager, and he said, I didn't want to get too analytical and nerdy, but he said, he's got a high spin rate on all his pitches. And I was like, Kelly, I really appreciate that. That's a little something different.
Thanks.
So even though he's not throwing harder than 84, 85 miles an hour, it's moving. Kelly said it's impossible for him to throw anything straight, and when it's in the strike zone, it's pretty hard to hit, and Brewster saw that tonight.
It wasn't an exceptional game on both sides. Brewster really played a great game. Orleans played a fantastic game. It was well needed. You guys, we're going to go arms around.
Yeah, arms
We're
around.
going to close the show. Thank you so much to you two. This has been the Bird's Eye View post-game special. 6-3 Firebirds.
Devils.
6-3 Firebirds over the Whitecaps. Hey, we'll see you tomorrow.